Hello and welcome to another episode here in Yabong, Pilipinas. And for this episode, we will talk about the nature and importance of agriculture. This is actually included sa crop science na TOS. Yes, meron ng TOS ang licensure exam for agriculturist. And yeah, well, so if you're here and you're studying for the licensure exam and baka na-overwhelm ka sa mga ganap or sa dami ng kailangang aralin, well, I want you to know that that is normal. And here in Yabong Pilipinas, what I want to do is to actually simplify and break down yung mga concepts na parang sobrang technical into absorbable na terms. Ayan. So, ayun yung goal na hindi lang kayo mag-memorize kung hindi mag-understand talaga ng concepts. So, ayan. So, just a reiteration ng ganap ng mga slides ko. Ayan. Kapag nakakita kayo ng black, tapos naka-bold siya, ayan. So, yun ay mga main concepts. And then next is kapag orange, those are key definitions or keywords ng isang concept. Tapos, enumeration ay nakakulay green kapag may mga lists. For example, types of ganito, types of ganyan. So, nasa inyo, kulay green yon. Then, kapag purple, those are principles, questions, broad concepts na meron sa agriculture. So for the TOS, ayan, andun yung overview and development of agriculture. I think 9 points ito if susundan nila yung TOS. Pero actually mix din yung nagsabi kung sinundan ba or hindi yung TOS. May mga ilang students, sabi na, sir, parang hindi naman. Yun na mga iba, sinundan daw nila yung TOS. Sabi nila. So, at least ang TOS kasi meron ng guide. Meron ng guide when it comes to ano yung mga aralin yung bagay for the licensure. So, ayan. Ito, nandun yung define agriculture and various contexts, examine the current Philippine agriculture in relation to sustainable production, illustrate the development of agriculture, the scope, history, the present situation of Philippine agriculture, apply the present innovations of agriculture to the challenges in food production. Okay. So, sa mga videos ko, meron ako diyang mixture. Minsan, meron akong mga ganitong questions. Minsan naman, puro lecture lang for the whole video. Ayun. So, for this one, as an industry, agriculture deals with the following except, alin kaya dyan? A, provision of agricultural supplies and services. B, harnessing energy from the sun through crop plants. C, production of plants and animals for food and fiber. D, processing, marketing, and distribution of agricultural products. Okay, so you can pause the video. So you can pause the video or kung gusto yung magsagot. So the answer there is letter B, harnessing energy from the sun through crop plants. So tingnan natin, ano nga ba yung agriculture as an industry? So the definition of agriculture, it is a systematic raising of useful plants and livestock under the management of man. A purposeful work through which the elements of nature are harnessed to produce plants and animals to meet human needs. So ano nga ba yung kailangan natin mga tao? So all of these or most of these are provided through the practice of agriculture. According to Heren and Donahoe in 1991, yung agriculture then it is a broad industry engaged in the production of plants and animals for food and fiber, the provision of agricultural supplies and services, and the processing, marketing, and distribution of agricultural products. Ayan. So, itong mga to, sila yung nasa choices kanina if na aalala nyo. So, ang hindi lang kasama dito is yung harnessing energy from the sun. That is not actually a definition of agriculture when it comes to the broad industry. Okay. Next. Which Republic Act regulates the practice of the agriculture profession in the Philippines, establishes a professional regulatory board for agriculturists, and provides funds for its implementation? A. Republic Act number 8435, B. Republic Act number 10068, C. Republic Act number 12215, D. Republic Act number 7607. Ayun. So you can pause the video. So the answer here is letter C, Republic Act number 12215. So kailangan nyo tandaan ito. I think lumabas to sa nakaraang licensure exam. So ang RA number 12215, it actually establishes the Professional Regulatory Board for Agriculture. So ito yung reason kung bakit tayo merong licensure exam, or ito yung parang kapag gusto natin pumasok sa government or mag-work on the agriculture sector, sabi nila kailangan na daw na merong license yung mga mag-work, etc. So ayun yung ganap dito. Pero yung tandaan na lang yung 12215, tas kung kailan, baka lumabas din, whenever, May 29, 2025, then yung short title niya, which is Philippine Agriculturist Act. Ngayon, tingnan naman natin yung other choices. Ano yung mga ibang acts doon? So, ito yung 12215. The next one is 8435, which is famously known as AFMA, and Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Act of 1997. Perhaps natatandaan nyo to from agricultural extension. Ayan. So this law aims to modernize agriculture and the fisheries sectors. So it promotes rural development, food security, sustainable use of resources, and support services for farmers and fisher folks. The next one is Republic Act number 10068. So ito naman, ito yung Organic Agriculture Act of 2010. So it promotes the development and adoption of practices of organic farming in the Philippines. Ayan, so it supports production, processing, marketing, and certification of organic products to enhance soil fertility, reduce pollution, and ensure food safety. Republic Act number 7607 naman, ito yung Magna Carta of Small Farmers. So this law recognizes and protects the rights of small farmers. Tas ang mga karaniwang issues na sinusolve or ina-act upon nitong law na ito is land tenure, training, credit, marketing assistance, and infrastructure. So this law recognizes the farmers as the key actors in national development. So again, RA 12215 is the Philippine Agriculturist Act. 8435 is AFMA. 10068 is Organic Agriculture Act of 2010. And ito, 7607 is Magna Carta of Small Farmers. Okay, number 3. Rapid industrialization caused the increase in the value of agricultural lands near population centers, resulting to A. Large-scale reduction of our forested lands, B. Massive land conversion of farmlands, C. Massive movement of workforce to other countries, or letter D. Excessive garbage problem. So you can pause the video. The answer here is letter B. Massive land conversion of farmland. So ayun yung ganap ng rapid industrialization. Whenever you have these questions na parang ano ba siya, practical na questions, meron din yata mga ganito sa agricultural extension, or more of this ay nasa agricultural extension. So what you can do actually is himayin nyo yung question. Okay, ano ba yung mga nasa question? Rapid industrialization, ano ba yung meaning nun? Tapos, increasing the value of agricultural lands near population centers. So, ang nagiging result nitong rapid industrialization ay massive land conversion of farmlands. So, paano ba siya nangyayari? So, kapag mas mabilis ang industrialization, ang nangyayari, mas maraming itinatayong factories, subdivisions, commercial buildings. And because of this, tumataas yung value ng lands, lalo na sa mga lugar na malapit sa city. So, example, sa NLEX, SLEX, yung mga yan, dati farmlands yung mga yan. Pero ngayon, ang dami na dyan mga factories ng different companies. Marami na rin mga tinatayong subdivisions, etc. So, ayun. Ang mga dating farmlands, ayun yung nagiging target para ibenta or i-convert bilang bilang residential or commercial na lugar. So, ang result nun is massive land conversion. Okay. So, next, number 4. Forest denudation would result into this possibility. A. Decreased agricultural production area. B. Severe erosion of topsoil leading to less fertile uplands. C. Movement of urban settlers to rural communities. D. Reduction of pest in agriculture. So, ang una nyo siguro maiisip kapag nabasa nyo itong tanong na to ay denudation. Ayan. So, most of the time, or in some cases, kapag hindi natin alam kung ano yung, for example, meaning ng isang term, ganyan, what we can do is, ayan, so Joshua tip, if hindi mo alam yung meaning ng isang word, you can look before and after the word and look for context clues. Ano nga ba yung ibig sabihin nitong word na to by looking at the sentence itself or even sa mga choices. Minsan meron din yan. So tingnan natin. So in this example, forest denudation would result into this possibility. So if hindi mo alam ang word na denudation, so you can look at the context itself. May word na forest. So forest denudation. Ibig sabihin yung word na denudation may kinalaman siya sa forest. Tapos may word na result, ibig sabihin meron siyang effect. Meron siyang epekto. So from this, pwede nating mahulaan na okay, denudation, baka pagkasira to or pagkawala ng gubat. Ayun. So also, you can look at ito. You can look at prefixes. Example, in this case, de. Pwede kayo humarap ng other words na may de rin. And ano kaya yung meaning nun? Ang meaning ng prefix na de ay to remove, reverse, or reduce. So kahit hindi natin alam yan, pwede kayong magharap ng parallel na words. For example, decrease. Decrease, pagbaba. So merong nawala. Degrade. Same na ano. Deforestation. Actually, ayun. So pwede na agad na makita nyo, okay, baka ito ay pagkawala ng forest. Ayun. So, ganun gumamit ng context clues. So, again, ang answer doon is yung letter B, severe erosion of topsoil leading to less fertile uplands. More of that, more of the science concept of it will be discussed when we go to soil erosion, yung mga soil and water conservation measures, yung mga yan. Pag-uusapan natin yung mga yan. Number 5, high population growth rate could possibly mean A, less work or labor force for agricultural production, B, more people in urban areas and greater demand for agricultural products, C, bad prospects for agriculture due to lower price of farm products, D, prosperity for all. So ang answer dito is letter B, more people in urban areas. Kapag mas mataas ang growth rate, possible na mas marami ang tao sa urban areas, mas darami, and mas mataas din ang demand para sa mga produkto ng agrikultura. So bakit kaya yon? Let's see. Ayan. So kapag mas mabilis ang population growth, dumadami yung tao, lalo na sa urban areas, then mas dadami ang bibili ng pagkain, mas marami ang kakain ng pagkain, agricultural products. So mas lalaki ang demand para sa products tulad ng bigas, gulay, prutas, karne at iba pa. So, pero dahil mas maraming tao sa cities, konti na lang yung gumagawa ng pagkain sa rural areas. Kaya minsan kulang yung supply. So that's just a side note. Pero ayun, kapag mas mataas ang population growth, mas tataas ang demand for agricultural products. And mostly, tumadami rin yung tao sa urban areas. Kasi nag-iisip tayo na nandun yung opportunities, etc. So let's look at the other choices. So sa letter A, less work labor force for agricultural production actually on the ano tawag dito, yung obvious na side, kapag mas tataas ang population, mas maraming tao, mas marami ang pwedeng mag-work on agriculture actually. So hindi siya accurate. Next, bad prospects for agriculture due to lower price of farm products. Actually, mali yung conclusion. Higher demand usually increases price, not lower it. Example nito, nung pandemic, kailangan ng mga tao ng alcohol, face masks. So, we experience yung pagtaas din lalo na nung una, ang tataas ng price ng mga face masks, etc. So, ayun. Prosperity for all sounds good, pero too general and unrealistic. Of course, when we are also looking at questions like this na merong mga ganitong choices, tignan nyo rin if practical ba siya, if nangyayari ba talaga siya, etc. Ayun. So, prosperity for all, masyadong unrealistic for the question. Number 6, greater population with low productivity could lead to general poverty among people, B, higher taxes, C, migration of workforces to rural areas, D, more professional agriculturists, or letter E, none of the above. You can pause the video if you want to answer and think of it. And now, the answer is letter A, general poverty among people. So, tingnan natin. Kapag mas maraming tao pero mababa ang productivity, the tendency actually is mas kulang ang trabaho at kita para sa lahat. So kapag mas kulang yung trabaho, mas mataas kasi ang competition because we have limited resources sa work, sa food, even let's say for example, tirahan, ganyan. So mas mataas ang competition sa limited resources. Kaya ang effect niya is general poverty. Mas maraming naghihirap. Ayun. So kaya siya general poverty among people. Let's look at the other choices. So yung higher taxes, of course, hindi naman siya direct na effect na kapag tumaas agad yung population, dumami yung tao, magtataas na ba agad yung government ng taxes, di ba? So hindi naman. So hindi siya direct effect. Yung migration of workforces to rural areas naman, madalas actually opposite ang nangyayari. Dahil ang tingin nga natin, mas maraming oportunidad na meron sa mga urban areas. So ang nangyayari, pupunta yung mga tao from rural areas, pupunta sa urban areas. Kasi makikita naman natin yan. Even yung sahod, yung minimum wage, mas mataas talaga sa NCR, ganyan, compared to other regions. Let's say, for example. Ayun. So, mas mataas yung sahod kapag nasa cities. Ganun. So, next, more professional agriculturists, sana nga, pero in reality, low productivity, hindi siya ganun ka-related dun sa question. And, ayun, high population doesn't automatically lead to more agri-professionals. And, yeah, this is just facts. Okay. So, lahat ng mga questions na yon, yung 6 na questions na discuss natin sa video na to, they are somehow pointing to agriculture in changing environments. We have recognized different challenges. That's why the political side of it, the political aspect, the political the political sphere, kaya sila gumawa ng law, which is RA 12215, para mas maengganyo yung mga kabataan na mag-agriculture. So, ayun yung sa political side. And here are some of the other challenges that we are experiencing as a society, not only here in the Philippines, but even worldwide. Ayun, challenges to feed the growing population of developing nations. Yeah, kailangan natin yan. Actually, for the past years, ang dami rin mga research, kunwari, na from international, tumutulong sila sa Philippines and even more, for example, sa US, dati meron yung USAID na ang mga ang tawag dito, na ang goal is to help developing countries, yung mga third world countries, ganyan. So dati meron mga ganon. And hopefully as a society, mag-grow tayo na meron pa rin maging ganon in the future. So yeah, reduction in arable lands, pagbaba ng mga sakahan na ng lupa na pwedeng sakahan. Ito ay nangyayari naman ngayon kasi nga rapid industrialization. Instead of us tending the land, ang nangyayari, ang ginagawa ng mga business people, not all of them, pero ayun yung karaniwang trend, nagkakaroon ng reduction sa arable land. Imbes na ano, gawin nating mall, gawin nating subdivision, gawin nating ganito, ganyan, ganyan. Okay, so that's another challenge. The next one is reduction in the number of people engaged in agriculture. And I think this is more of the culture then ng agriculture sa Philippines, especially that growing up, what we see in our books, etc., is that farmers are poor. So as children or as people, ayaw natin na maging ganun yung parang future natin. So small or lower amounts of youth are actually enticed with the idea of pursuing a career in agriculture. And ayun, that is the reason why I started Sprout of Philippines, which is uh, now an organization that are marami organization na nagko-compile ng stories of different people from the field of agriculture para mas ma-encourage natin yung mga kabataan na okay, ito yung agriculture, hindi lang siya puro tanim. Meron siyang nasa laboratory, pwede kang mag-research, pwede kang magturo, pwede kang maging scientist. Those are some of the things na hindi kasi alam ng mga kabataan na sa agriculture meron palang ganito. Even communication, business, engineering. So, maraming scope ang agriculture. Ayun. Next is changing global climate. Hindi ito stranger sa atin na we have climate change. What we are experiencing right now are part of climate change. The things that we are experiencing ito rin na mas mainit. Tinan mo ngayon, parang nagtataka ako, last December, ba't ang daming nasa beach? So, di ba dati, kapag December talaga sobrang lamig na. Tapos may mga nagbi-beach pa rin ng December. So, climate change. That is climate change. Next, regional and global pandemic. And COVID-19. That's one example. And ang napatunayan lang din ng COVID-19 dati is that food security is really an issue that we need to address. Ayun. Kasi paano pa nagkaroon ng ganung pandemic? Accessible ba yung mga pagkain sa bawat tahanan? Yung mga ganun na bagay. So, again, it points to agriculture. And of course, more productive agriculture. Dahil sa mga challenges na to, mas kailangan natin gumawa ng agrikultura na mas maraming napoproduce, mas maraming yield na napoproduce, at maayos siya na nakakarating sana sa mga consumers. So, ayun yung marami pang challenges actually in agriculture. And I hope that as we move forward, as you learn more sa channel na to, may makikita kayo mga challenges na after your licensure, after you being a registered agriculturist, makita nyo na, okay, dito ko gusto magtrabaho kasi ito yung challenge dito, etc. So, ayun. And I think that's it for this video. Itutuloy ko to sa next na video kasi mahaba to, 163 slides to, and marami siyang different spheres ng overview of agriculture. So ngayon, medyo mga challenges. Next, punta naman tayo sa history ng agriculture. And so on and so forth. And so I think that's it. If you learned something about agriculture in this video, if this helped you, I would like to ask kung pwede ka mag-like and subscribe. Ayan, para maging notified ka sa mga next na videos in Yabong Pilipinas. And of course, we also have our Facebook page. Ayun, so meron din doon. Magpo-post din ako doon ng mga stuff about the licensure, and share this to someone that you want to pass the licensure exams with. Ayun. Anyway, that's it for this video. Bye.